Okay, well, please come to the West Coast. I've been living in Los Angeles for the last 20 years. It's been a long, long time. Like she mentioned, I was born and raised for 18 years in Okayama, Japan. Today, I want to share my personal experience moving from a small city in Japan to the big city in the United States to pursue my American dream. So hopefully you will be inspired to follow your whatever dreams or goals that you have in your life. So to tell you how I was inspired to pursue my American dream was by my dad. My dad really enjoyed and loved watching American movies. And I didn't come from a really wealthy family, so we had only one television, one living room, and my dad always rented out American movies every day. He used to work for a city hall, and after his work is done, he stopped by video rental places, DVDs. I guess there's no DVDs nowadays. Everybody's like, younger generation, like, what is DVDs? Why don't you just download? But back in days, a lot of DVDs. And my dad used to rent it out 2-3 American movies every day. So basically, I grew up watching American movies. That's all I knew. And before I knew it, I think I was around 13 or 14, 15 years old in junior high school. I was very inspired by what I was watching. People who were in movies, and I remember a day I asked my dad, so what's their job? Is that a job on movie? What is that? He's like, it's actor. So where are they from? The United States. What is the United States? Oh, it's a big country, and it's the capital of the entertainment. All these American movies are made from Hollywood in Los Angeles. And I remember the day, Dad, I think I know what I want to become when I grow up. I want to be like them. He's like, forget about it. I mean, you don't speak English. You don't know where the United States is. And none of our family actually never went, none of our relatives, friends, family members ever went outside of our city, prefecture, country. And, my dad was like, you gotta wake up and you gotta, do like anybody else. But I was very determined at but I think age 15 or so, by the time I graduated from junior high school. I remember the day I was asking my teacher when all of my classmates were consulting about which high school you're gonna go, which university are you gonna pursue, and everybody was like, yeah, I wanna go to the high school, I wanna go to the big university there. And I remember my mom was right next to me. It's like my teacher, my mom, myself, and I told teacher, I think I want to go to Hollywood. I don't want to go to high school. And there was a moment my teacher was like, you know where Hollywood is? You know what that is? Yeah, I know. I want to be somebody like the movie. And it was an embarrassment moment for my mom. But I was so determined, and I just wanted to pursue. I just want to go to even the high school in the United States, and I don't know what got me into it. Like, I was so passionate about pursuing my American dreams. And after that meeting with my teacher, my mom and I had a conversation. The mother and son conversation. Don't ever do it again. It's like, okay. And my mom said, okay, if you graduate, that was a negotiation with my mom. My mom said, if you graduate from high school, at least, you can do whatever you want in your life. You can do whatever. You can choose to go a university in the United States. You can choose to go to a university in Japan. And I told my mom, okay, so if I graduate from high school, I can do whatever I want. She says, okay. So I decided to stay, but I didn't want to waste my high school 3 year. So during the high school, I was thinking, what could I prepare before moving to the United States? My journey began from there by researching where the United States is, where Los Angeles is, what is East Coast, where is West Coast, what is American culture, how's Hollywood industry working in the United States, how does that work? So what I did was making plans every night, my life plan. I think I started from age 16, 17, 18. For those 3 years, I decided to make my life plan. So the life plan that I made was basically plan A. If everything goes well, I will graduate from high school. I go to American college to study English and my acting, and get my movies by the age of 25. And basically, I made a plan all the way to 30, 40, 50, 60, my life plan. If everything goes well, it will be plan A. If nothing works, if things change along the way, maybe plan B, plan C. So I had different plans. And at the time, with the limited resources and information back in the days, the internet was kind of new. And then that was when we were actually dialing to get the internet, like calling, using a phone line. It wasn't like fast like today, high-speed internet. Back then it was like so slow. But I didn't have enough information, but I was doing my best to get as much information as possible to prepare for my American dream. And so those 3 years in high school, okay, what can I do before moving to the United States? The things I can do not to waste my 3 years in high school. So I decided to take martial arts. To become an action star, at least you gotta know some martial arts. I mean, that was my first preparation. So my mom was like, don't become an actor, don't become a martial artist. And I did everything my parents told me not to do. And my mom's like, if you want to study martial arts, you have to pay from your own pocket. So that's when I started doing a part-time job just to prepare, and taking martial arts classes Saturday and Sunday. And I was also a gymnast. So in high school, I was like, okay, to become an action star, at least I need to do some backflips. I had to do some acrobatics. So those 3 years, I dedicated myself studying martial arts, doing gymnastics back and forth, and studying English. It didn't get improved even a little bit. I was really good at mathematics, but my English didn't improve. And I was wondering why. And I remember asking my English teacher, so how come my English grade doesn't get improved? Maybe when you go to the United States, you're forced to speak English. You're forced to speak native speakers, and your English will be improved. So you don't have to worry about, just go to the United States and prepare what you can before, and your English will be much better. So I wasn't worried before moving. And another thing's, okay, so to enroll school, university, or community college, what do I need to do? In a high school student, what do you know anything about it? Like moving to unknown land to the West, and nobody, none of my family, none of my friends knew about. It was like going to like a Mars for me. Like I saw a space center here. It's like unknown place, and all I knew was the movies. You know, I imagining United States to be like the movie scenes, and I just had that vision in my head, and I was very looking forward to moving to the United States. And basically, my mom's like, so if you really want to go and pursue your American dreams in Los Angeles, you got to prepare everything. So I even prepared to get my student visa. I remember a day, what is student visa? How can I get the student visa? First, you need to find a school, and you need to get approved. You get I-20, you get the student visa. But my English wasn't good enough to enroll college. So I basically have to enroll English for second language, ESL program. So to become an actor, of course, you have to speak. So your English has to be pretty good, or you can have very talented skills that nobody else could do. So those are the things that I prepared before moving to the United States. That was included in my plan. And I was only 15, 16, 17. And so moving to the United States, it was very exciting. All my friends and my parents, everybody's like, you're going to the United States, you don't speak even a word of English. You don't know where it is. You don't know things are happening. What are you gonna do getting your own place and do you know how to take a bus and all that? So I didn't think about it, but I was so excited. And I remember a day at the airport from Japan moving to the United States, I was so happy that I was running in the airport, like rushing to get on the airplane, while my mom was crying and my brother was crying, everybody was crying, but I didn't even see their faces. I was like, yes, finally, this is my day, this is my day. I was very, very happy. I remember that day, and it was June 11, 2000. So I left June 11, 2000 in Japan, landed on the soil of the United States for the first time on June 11, 2000. So that's kind of my special day for me, 6/11/2000. I will never forget the day. And my first impression about the United States was like, wow, everything is so big. The road, freeway is so wide. What is this? Because Japan is so narrow. You have to kind of squeeze in to go places. And that was my first impression. Wow, everything is so big and people are different. Japan, everybody is Japanese. And if you go to Los Angeles, wow, there's different people and I hear different languages. I don't even know some of the languages people are speaking. And I remember first 1 month, I did a homestay during my ESL program. And it was a Hispanic house. And I turned on the TV, and that was a Dragon Ball Z. It was the Japanese anime, and it was a language that I didn't really understand at all, and it was actually a Spanish. It's like, wait, what is this language? Well, isn't everybody speaking English here in the United States? Why? How come the Spanish is on the TV? That was my first introduction to a diversity in Los Angeles. Wow, there are different languages in the United States. But anyway, my second life began in Los Angeles. I didn't have a place to stay. After homestay, I moved by myself to a city of Los Angeles, with a big suitcase coming out of a Union Station with a hat on, the backpack on. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't know where I was going. It was getting dark, and I was like, I gotta find a place to stay. And I found a motel, I stayed. I didn't even have a place to stay. I didn't have friends, family. I didn't have money back in. Everything started from the scratch. But I was so happy to be in Los Angeles. That was a place. Imagine like the place you always want to go since you're a kid. You finally get there, you don't think about anything else. Like, yes, I'm here, but I don't know what to do. But I'm so happy. I was like that, 18 years old. So my first things was I started going to Los Angeles City College, the community college, 2-year college, to get a general education, to study my acting. In the meanwhile, I remember a day my grandmother said before moving to the United States, I don't know why I asked my grandmother, who doesn't even know where the United States is, but somehow she knew something about it. And I asked my grandmother, so what how can I become successful in the United States? It's a random question to grandmother. She said, find what you're really good at, become the best at it, become the best of the best. And the United States is a place you become the best, become really good at it, you will be acknowledged. You're gonna be recognized. In Japanese culture, it's a little bit opposite. People want you to become like anybody else. Same. It's a group-oriented society, but United States is the opposite. It's very individual-oriented society. So find what you're good at. And I was thinking, what am I really good at? I've been studying karate for 2.5 years, and I got my black belt from the white belt for 1.5 years training. And so when I landed in Los Angeles, I immediately, back in the day, there was a payphone on the street in the yellow pages, and I was looking, and I finally found a martial arts school that I always wanted to study, Kung Fu. And I called, and I was training 6 days a week, 5 hours a day for 2 years nonstop. It was like a training, going to school from morning to the afternoon, and after that you go to the park, practice martial arts for 1 hour. I go back to the apartment and cook myself and go to a training from 7:30 to 11:30 at night. And with my Kung Fu classmates whose classmates were filmmakers, producer, actors, so it was actually a great environment for me to learn about industry. And we used to go out for a dinner afterwards, but my day was like that, going to school, studying English, acting, martial arts. And after 6 months, and I wanted to try myself. Are you kidding me? People are warming up or what? Like, people are so slow. Like, what is this? Is this tournament or what? I mean, I knew that I was gonna win the tournament because that's how I felt. And it was a surprise, but I won U.S. national champion after that. I competed in Los Angeles, Las Vegas a couple times. I went to San Francisco, San Diego, different U.S. national champions, and I kept winning my forms and weapons, and that's how I actually built my skills. I remember the day grandmother said, you know, you have to become the best of the best of something that nobody can do, and you're gonna be recognized. You already have a handicap, you know, being non-American. Pursuing American dream in Hollywood. You know, even American people in the United States move to Los Angeles and pursue trying to become successful Hollywood actor. It's a very competitive. And it is said that 5,000 people come to Los Angeles and 5,000 people go back to their where they come from, giving up their dreams. That's how every day, that's how competitive it is in Los Angeles. It's very tough, but I knew how tough it was gonna be. But what I prepared every day, I was talking to myself every day, and I kept doing my visualization. This is something very important that it really worked out pretty well for me, was to visualize, like I was saying, making a plan what are you actually going to be like, you know, 20, 21, every year. I made the plans every day, the scenarios that I will follow and be, and I was visualizing myself. Am I doing the right things? Am I following the pathway that I planned out? And every night before I went to sleep, and what can I do tomorrow to even become closer to succeed my dream? So every night, going to school, training martial arts, come back tired, on bicycle 1 hour, going to the school, come back 1 hour, come back midnight. Before I went to sleep, I took the note. what am I supposed to do tomorrow? Like as an international student, you go, it's not about only studying in a college, it's also about you have to live in the country. And all I knew was, living with my parents back in my hometown. But when you start living by yourself, I'm sure you have the experience. You have to cook, you have to do laundry, you have to go grocery shopping. And I didn't speak a word of English back in days. So now how do I get a bus? How do I get a driver license? How do I connect to utility? How do I pay? How do I rent out an apartment? Everything was so challenging, but at the same time, it was a very exciting for me. I didn't feel it's issues. It was very how do you say? Like it was very something that I was looking forward to learn. Everything new, everything that I experienced was learning experience for me, and in a positive way. So every day, tomorrow, how can I get my cell phone? And I didn't know how to. I mean, how would you know? Like tomorrow, you go to Japan. Now you're 18 years old, and you start your new life, and you wouldn't know how to get your own place and cell phone and a driver license. Everything is brand new, and so that's something I have to do every day. And next morning, after between schools, and am I accomplishing what I'm doing? So that's the beginning of my life in Los Angeles before going to a Hollywood industry. So I started out doing a lot of commercials. My first audition was at Disneyland, and I just got myself agent. And my first audition was Disneyland, and I got it. And then next things I knew, I was in Disneyland. My first time Disneyland was the work, and it was pretty amazing. They actually closed the Disneyland for us to get on the rides 100 times. And before I knew it, I was on television enjoying the ride in Disneyland. That was a pretty good experience. And also, second audition that I auditioned for was Apple Computer. Back in days, it was called the Apple International, I remember. I didn't know what it was, and I got it. And the third audition was national commercial. JC Penny is a clothing store, pretty famous in the United States, and I got it. My agent was like, you don't speak a word of English. How are you getting all these national commercials? Even American actors can get, this is like a dream job for actors to get a national commercial. How are you doing this? Well, I don't know, I'm just smiling. And they just booked me. So, wow. And she just couldn't say a word. She was totally frozen. Like, I remember her face like, I don't even understand how you're getting this. But that's how I built my career. And I did a lot of student films and extra jobs and learning how it's like to work on the set. And I was telling myself or questioning myself, tomorrow, am I ready? If an opportunity comes to me tomorrow, a big movie, am I ready? It's a question to myself. What am I missing? Am I good enough to act? Am I good enough to understand what is happening on the set so I feel confidence? Many questions that I had. And so anything to achieve my dream, I was preparing and I was thinking, what can I do in case of getting this big movie? And I had a pretty confidence, I knew that I was gonna make it happen. And I told my parents or friends and everybody in Japan, I will never come back to Japan unless I achieve my dream. If I don't achieve my dream, you're not gonna see me. And that's how much I was really determined to achieve my dream. No matter what it takes, I'm gonna make this happen. So a lot of people ask me, you must have had doubts. Did you feel lonely? You feel depressed along the way? I didn't have any of that. Doubts, depression, sadness didn't exist in my head. I knew what I wanted. It's like like visualizing yourself getting to where you want to be is very important, because it's like a GPS. You have a destination. If you don't have a destination, it's easier to get lost along the way. You know, as you grew up, you're given many options, that new options that you never imagined. And if you don't know where you're going, it's easier to get lost and lose yourself. And I don't know what I'm doing now in my life. But so what I always tell people or students is to set your clear goal, where you want to go. There are many different ways to get there. There's not only one way. There's always a way to get there. There's nothing impossible. It is a famous saying in Hollywood, anything is possible. I remember a professor in acting said, anything is possible in Hollywood. I remember the word. I keep telling myself, this is impossible. I don't speak a word of English. I'm Japanese. Anything is possible. There's a way to get there. So just remember that word and things will happen to you. So anything is possible. Okay, so maybe this is my way, but I become a US national champion. Maybe that's a way to get there faster. And making a lot of friends from my Kung Fu school, where a lot of classmates are actors and directors, maybe we can work together. But I need to prove myself that I'm different. I'm different than other people's. Being different is it's a challenging thing. Being same with anybody else it seems easier. You do like anybody else, you live your life. But being different, trying something new thing is getting out of your comfort zone. You know, that was always me. How can I be different from others? How can I be different from people in Japan? How can I be different from actors, American actors who are trying to make it into Hollywood? What am I different about them? So these are the questions I was questioning myself every day to get there. So in 2002 August, I got my first break. I had an audition. I got this movie I was at my friend's house trying to make an official website. And I saw the casting call, The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise. And I knew Tom Cruise, but I was like, I didn't know anything better about the film industry. I thought this was like a student film, or I didn't know a scale movie. And I submitted my friends like, Shin, you should submit, this movie. You never know. And I submitted myself, my photo. I put my cell phone number. I didn't have manager for movies. I didn't have agents for movies. I had agent for commercial, but not for the movies. And they called. I went in, and I remember I met the casting director who normally casts actors for the movies. And I did my scene, and she was very impressed. And she's like, so, Shin, what do you do? I mean, you're not obviously from the United States. Oh, I go to Los Angeles City College. I'm taking acting classes. I came to the United States to become an action star. Oh, okay. And she really liked what I did. She's like, so are you ready? Can you come back to casting again in 1 week? Please stand by your phone. It's like, okay, I'm ready. And she called back, and next things I knew, I was meeting the producers from The Last Samurai. She didn't tell me what I was gonna do in the second auditioning with a casting director. She just said, just to come. I wanna introduce you to somebody. I went in, and two producers, and they asked me a lot of questions. So what do you do in Los Angeles? Oh, I'm an international student. At the Los Angeles City College. Oh, that's good. But why did you come to the United States? Oh, to become a Hollywood star. Oh, okay. Like everybody else will say that, they're like, okay, I think I've heard that many times. And they said, can you do a scene you did last time? It's like, but I don't remember my lines. I mean, I didn't know that you were actually making me to do a scene. They said, it's okay. If you don't remember, okay, but just try to do what you remember. So I did my scene. One of the scenes that in the movies actually you see, it's a dinner scene with the Tom Cruise, and he speaks Japanese for the first time, and I laugh so much, and I tell Tom, I was like, wow, you're speaking Japanese, and it's a funny scene. And that was very impressive for the producers. It's supposed to be a serious scene, but I wanted to make something human about it. People think about samurai, it's very serious, very like assassin, they kill people, serious and bloody. But I was thinking, a samurai was a human being, warrior, human beings. And he's a young samurai. He must have a, very human-like personality, laughing, curiosity about different people from different country. And so I did that scene, very entertaining, laughing, and it was really good. And the producers told me later on, we've been searching somebody like you. We auditioned probably about 1 million people, famous actors in Japan, people in the UK, Europe, everywhere, and we couldn't find. And you walked in a month before we actually start filming. And I was like, wow, so I was so lucky. And they said, he said, so would you be available to start filming in Japan next month? I was like, yes, I'm ready. He's like, to the set and see what happens. So it was kind of skeptical to everybody that I'm doing the movie. And in Japan, I invited everybody. And to the set, they started realizing, well, this is serious. And then my parents' family came, and I called Tom, please come. And I introduced Tom Cruise. Please meet my family, parents. They were so shocked that it was actual real. They actually told me, so it's real. Of course it's real. Like, why do I lie to you, And my grandparents didn't even know who he was, and my grandmother has never been to the movie theaters. They're in a mountain, a countryside. And after the movie, Tom and I and grandmother happened to be in a cable car together. It was on the top of the mountain going down, and we were having conversation, and it was a moment that it was very personal, and explaining my grandmother who he is, and when we got there to the bottom, all the fans, thousands of fans are waiting. And it was like, yeah, Tom Cruise. And everybody, he's very friendly. He's very professional, friendly, family oriented, and shaking hands and hugging. And my grandma was seeing him, being hugged, and a lot of Japanese were hugging, and all of a sudden my grandmother started running towards him and he started hugging him. It was like, "What are you doing? Like, you know what you're doing, and you know who he is?" She's like, no, I don't know who he is, but I'm so excited to hug Tom Cruise because everybody's hugging him. It's like, wow, I've never seen grandma, like a little grandmother who walks like this. All of a sudden, started running, and it was a very special moment for me to see my grandparents so happy. Anyway, we filmed the movie in Japan. Back in Warner Brothers for a month, and then I was going to Tom's house, and we became very good friends. Seeing, because it was like 8 months filming, and we filmed the movie in New Zealand 6 months, so 8 months, 5 days a week. When you spend 5 days a week, every morning I see him, you really get to know somebody. And I remember during the filming, and he was very, I don't know why he did this, but during the filming, he stopped the actual filming, and he was calling, he was at the prime. He's still pretty famous, but he was at the prime back in days in 2003. He's like, "Shin, please come." So I was like, what is happening? All the filming stopped. And it was like, what is happening here? And he and I was like, please come. So everybody thought I was gonna be fired or whatever. And I went there, Shin, I wanna share my personal story with you. How I started my career. And then somehow he's like, I see you exactly like when I was starting my career. So that's when, I don't know why he felt that personally to me, but every scene, every time I saw him on the set, he basically pulled me aside and started sharing. My first movie was a tap, and you know what happened? I didn't even know where to see on the camera. If the camera doesn't see you, you don't see the camera. It was very personal. He was very good, and I was learning a lot about it, and that's how I learned everything about filming. 8 months talking to people. And when the movie came out, it was like so amazing to see my big face on the screen. And on to Disney Channel. So Disney Channel, my manager said, Disney Channel is a pretty big deal in the United States. You want to capture those young audience before you're too old. You will grow up. Your audience will grow up with you. So I know it's kind of awkward going from $200 million movie to a kids' television shows, but it's very important. So I wasn't sure why, but I actually did a performance in front of a Disney president. Everything went well. The next day they offered me a job, and next things I knew, I was in Disney Channel. I got many other offers, but it was a choice. An actor, as you see in many Hollywood actors, they do a lot of charity events. So I started doing a lot of charities starting from 2004, Boys and Girls Club of America, and then doing a lot of events, Chuck Norris Foundation in Houston. The next things I knew, I was meeting President Bush Sr., who's been helping this foundation, playing tennis with them at age 24 or 5. It was a pretty amazing experience, and I really got involved in charity. And we started our foundation 2008. So we've been running our foundation since 2008. To talk about our foundation briefly, our foundation is called KIF, K-I-F, Koyamada International Foundation. Our headquarters in Los Angeles, and we have a 6 global agenda. So if you're interested in joining our foundation, please go to our website. What we do is fostering youth leadership and empowering girls and women. And the third is assisting disaster relief. Fourth is building people-to-people exchange. Fifth one is the ending extreme poverty. The last one is sustainable development goals. So 6 global agendas. We have national chapters in different countries, including United States, Japan, Brazil, Colombia, and some countries in Kenya and Togo in Africa. We're hoping to create KIF Russia. So that's what we, half of my time goes to producing movies and shows. And we have 4 movies coming up that I'm going to be producing and starring in. And we've been producing a lot of American comic books, video games, animation, and half of my time goes to our foundation. To me, it's a very important thing. I take this opportunity to talk to you as part of my outreach to inspire giving back to the community. And I love Russia. I was so glad that I came to Moscow last October as part of a Sister Cities International. I don't know if you know anything about Sister Cities, but Sister Cities is about a people-to-people exchange, building world peace through people-to-people exchange. Basically, Sister Cities International was born out of it was started by President Eisenhower in 1956. And after World War II, let's build a world peace through people-to-people exchange. That's when sister cities happen. So St. Petersburg is sister city to LA. They do youth exchanges. So I'm serving on the board of Sister Cities International. That's why I came to Moscow last time. Let's do more local-to-local, people-to-people exchanges. So anyway, so now I do acting, running production, doing non-profit, and I doing Sister Cities. So it's been 20 years and I became American citizen. So starting from international students to all visa to green card to the American citizens. So I know exactly if you're trying to be an internationalist, I know exactly how you're feeling, and it's pretty important to be on top of immigration. It's something that I was always on top, and to be able to stay in the United States and achieve my dream. Anyway, so that's my talk, but thank you for coming today. I don't know how long I talked. Nobody told me to stop, so I just kept going, but thank you. But I will take any questions from you. Thank you. Yes, please.
When you were talking about your early years, you mentioned that you had a strict routine. Thank you so much. You had a really strict routine when you mentioned that you had your hours very specifically. And what I've noticed is that you told us that at the end of the day, you tried to sit down and write down if you were close to your goal. Can you tell us if that was something that you felt from the inside, or it was some good advice from a friend? And if you had a mentor who gave you some tips how you could be effective. But I really think that that was really impactful. on your career, because you always had in mind your goal, and you were just checking, you know, like the pilot that is going directly to his goal, and yes, everything, and just another, that was the question, and I just want to share that your speech was very inspiring, and you're a very nice person. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That was something I was following my instinct. I didn't have a mentor. Who will be a great mentor becoming a Hollywood star in a small town in Japan? Nobody would know how to do so. I didn't have any friends from the United States, so nobody explained to me or mentored me. It's something that I have to do what I think is good. I have to always believe myself and listening to myself, myself every day. What am I supposed to do? And actually, when I moved to Los Angeles, now to think about, after moving to the United States, I think it was like a year after I stayed, there was a photographer, American photographer, who was making $1,000 cash every day, shooting Hollywood actors and directors. And it was an exchange for me. He takes my photos and I help him, I assist him, because it was pretty expensive to get headshots, like $500 per session. I didn't have that much money back in days. And I learned a lot actually from him. And he told me, Shin, when people are sleeping, I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking. Before I go to sleep, I'm always thinking. When I'm driving, I'm always thinking about my career. How can I improve myself? I'm always thinking. And he was actually always thinking. I thought he was like out there. His mind was out there. I was giving him ride many times, and it's very quiet in the car. He's always looking out the window thinking, how can I become better? How can I become better? He's thinking. And when I took him back home, he has kids. He immediately sat down on the chair and he took a paper out. He started writing down, so how can I become better? He was also doing affirmation too. I'm going to become the best photographer. I'm going to be the best photographer. So he actually helped me a little bit, but I was taking notes and making plans before moving to the United States. But that was an inspiration for me too. Always think about it. Think about it seems to be very easy things to do, but it's actually difficult things to do. You think about it's actually stay focused. Staying focused is actually difficult things to do, and you're always envisioning and thinking about achieving your dreams and goals every day. Anytime you have a time, instead of watching TV, you have a silent, you think about your career. How can I improve myself? Even in the bathroom, you think about how can I improve my career? What can I do tomorrow? How can I be a better person tomorrow? Even taking shower, you think about it. Before sleeping, you're thinking about you fall asleep. That's how much you think about your career, and it becomes part of your life. And all of a sudden you start developing these things. You become part of your, like brushing teeth, breathing, thinking about how to achieve your goals faster than anybody else, becoming your second nature. So this is something I do even today. I think about what can I do today? What can I do to achieve what I want to achieve today? Taking notes, I'm always taking papers out, writing down what can I do, what things to do. Always, I don't delay things. I always try to finish what I'm supposed to finish tomorrow, no matter what it takes. Even easy, simple things, going to grocery, do it tomorrow. Anyway, that's, thank you to answer your questions.
Hello, thank you for your speech. It was very inspirational. We are two professional actors here from Russia. What can you advise to us? Because we are in the profession pretty long. It's about 10 years, including education and etc. We are working in theater in Moscow. Or maybe could you share with us some context of talent agent for music or something like that? Thank you.
A question to you: are you trying to become an actor in the United States in the future, or you stay in Russia?
It was my dream, and it is my dream, but it's longs for a long time, long ago for me, because I earned 3 educations and changed 2 theaters, took part in some movies and TV series here in Moscow, and in Moscow I live for 2 years.
You know, it's important to not to think about. I'm listening. Okay, okay. So they're not tapping our things. So they're not telling us to leave. Okay. Thank you very much. You know, there was a time maybe I was thinking too much. You know, maybe I'm thinking too much. Thinking all the time is good. Maybe I'm thinking too much. So sometimes when you doubt, when you start thinking, getting lost, am I doing the right things right now? Where am I going? And sometimes things happen and options are given to you, and but every night it's important to even have a 10 minutes to listen to yourself. What do I want? What do you want? Why are you acting to begin with? Why did you start acting? Going back to your origin will give you answer. So, you know, along the way, you're doing your things, but sometimes you lose why you started, your motivation. And in going back, why I started pursuing my American dreams, why you started pursuing your dream in Russia. So sometimes it's important just to follow instinct and just do it. If you want to become an actor in the United States, just do it. Earlier, the better. Because when you get older, you become smarter, you know, you have more information about life, and you have a tendency to start thinking different options. What if happens? What if nothing happens? Oh, it's gonna be a difficult, you know, you may know too much information. So, you know, while you're younger, just do it. It's a very simple answer for me to you. Yeah.
I've got a question. May I ask? I guess we have only one microphone. So.
Yeah.
Hello, Shin. Thanks for coming to Moscow. I have actually 2 questions. First one is about the Last Samurai movie. I know that your ancestors come from samurai clan, from Satsuma, and how personal was playing that role, that dramatic role, that role of a great noble samurai, and all those dramatic scenes like cutting your hair, for example, that bridge final scene, that fun scene that you mentioned, like Mage, Mimi, and so on, and how personal you felt about that. And my second question is, how do you like Russia, Moscow? What's your maybe most favorite thing, maybe a least favorite thing? Like how was Russia in your mind, and then how did it appear in reality? Thank you.
So you did a lot of research on me. I could tell. I think you're the first one that actually who told me about what you have learned about me. So yes, I discovered after doing the movie The Last Samurai, I became so curious about my heritage, your identity, my identity. And I was asking my grandfather, so please tell me what you know about our ancestor. He's like, well, you know, Koyamada, we used to have a castle called the Koyamada Castle. We used to have a beach named after us. And the land we own was given by daimyo, which was a governor back in days. And I was like, what? So we were actually samurai? Wait. The Last Samurai, the movie, was based on the land that my ancestor came from. You telling me that I just played the role, that played my ancestor's role. It was totally coincidence. After the movie, wow, what a coincidence, what a destiny it was. But I felt something connection, and it was a very surprise. So when I was doing the scene for the movie, getting the top knot cut off and everything, I was just doing, just following my instinct. And that was my first movie, and a lot of people asked me, so were you nervous, scared about doing the movie? You know, $150 million movies, and all of the actors are top notch in Hollywood, in Japan, and you didn't feel any scared. I didn't. I didn't know anything. Maybe it was good that I didn't know anything better about actors, and I didn't have these things. I was just doing my things. I was very focused, like doing a national tournament. And I remember the director was so impressed how I did my scenes, different scenes. Fortunately, you know, all of my scenes were kept in the movie, except one scene that you didn't see and you will never see was a bath scene with Tom Cruise. He and I get in the bathtub together. And I knew why it was cut off, so it was good that actually it didn't come out. And all of us are kind of like took off everything and except the underwear, and we just got in the bath and started talking about, so how's the sunrise? Well, how's your village? And it was kind of a sensitive scene, but it didn't come out. But that was an enjoying scene too. But all of my scenes, a lot of actors who I work with, many of their scenes were deleted, you know, but I was really lucky. Anyway, so yeah, thanks to the movie, a lot of people think that my heritage inspired me to portray the role that I played in the movie. It was actually the opposite. So I see this as a destiny. You never know why you're doing things. It's meant to be. You know, whatever you think, you're meant to be. So to answer your second question, what do I like about Moscow? Who doesn't like Moscow? I love Moscow. Yes, I did ask many questions to my friends in LA. So what do I need to know before I go to Russia? What do you know about Russia? Well, you know Russia, you know how it is, like movies, and you know what to do. I was like, oh, okay, so you be careful in your hotel room. Somebody may be watching you, listening to you. Somebody may be following you behind you. So watch your back and you know, those things. I was like, okay. So back of my head, I had the impression. But when I came, I was like, this city is amazing, so clean, organized. The buildings are so fantastic. I was thinking a country like Colombia or Africa or somewhere in the slum, like a third world country. But when I came to Moscow, I was so impressed by how well maintained the city is, and the safety. You can walk on the street safely even at night. That was a concern. Like in other countries, you take your iPhone, you know, they actually point the gun at you and to steal your iPhone. That's how dangerous it is in other countries. That's something I was thinking, like maybe I shouldn't take out my phone, and I gotta be careful and watching my back all the time to make sure nobody will rob me. But I was so impressed. I love Russian people. They're so friendly, professional. I love their integrity that they have. They're really welcoming to the visitors. You know, I hope the people here will keep that, respecting other cultures, and open their warm arms to welcome people from around the world to introduce Russian culture, foods. I love Russian foods, and I was thinking I really want to come back to Moscow. And it was for the Sister Cities International. We had Russian mayors from across Russia came to Moscow. I joined the U.S. delegation, and we were discussing about what can we do to do more people-to-people exchange at a local level. Youth exchanges, culture exchanges, educational exchanges, economical exchanges. And I was so impressed by how professional and how friendly, how nice people are. And then that was the first time you do business in Russia, you have to drink. And when you sit down with officials in a formal environment, people drink, and then each of you will stand up and you say a word. And before you drink, and you say a word, and then you drink Russian drinks, and you're in a good hands. So I was thinking, okay, is it gonna happen? Is that gonna happen to me? And it actually happened to me during the Russia-U.S. Municipal Forum. I was in a different room with the different mayors, 4 of us, and we sat down and giving us all these amazing Russian drinks. And I had to do a speech, but Shin, you gotta drink. This is a Russian drinks, cognac, you have to drink. And I was taking a shot, and I was like, this is so strong. And then exactly what I heard. Each one of us stood up and did a speech. Welcome to Moscow. I'm a mayor from this city, and started explaining who he is. Shin, now it's your turn. Now I stand up and doing my speech in a small, but it was very a Russian culture experience for me. So I was hoping to come back, and here I am. Thanks to U.S. Embassy and Education USA, I'm very thankful for this opportunity. Not only Moscow, St. Petersburg, Moscow. Tomorrow I'm going to Yekaterinburg, and I'm going to Novosibirsk, is it right? And going to Vladivostok. So I'm doing the 5 cities, doing the 9 lectures and activities. It's a lot of things, but I get to learn. This is a great opportunity for me to learn about different Russian people in other regions of Russia. I'm looking forward to experiencing different foods, local foods from other cities, hearing about their culture, and sharing my experience with other people in the United States and Japan, the people where I go. So this is my honor and privilege to be here, to get to know you, and well, thank you for the question.
Button 1. Hi to everyone. My name is Dennis. So my question is, who is the most, I guess, eccentric person you have met in Hollywood? And could you tell us the story about him? And maybe you could start with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and keep on going. It would be great. That's it.
Okay. Well, I would say Tom Cruise. I met many actors in the past. I've worked with many Disney Channel actors, but I guess he was the first big figure and a mentor. I will call him mentor back in days, and I was so impressed by him sharing his life story to me about his crazy career that he had in the beginning, and that was very eye-opening to me. And I met other actors, and other actors. Every actor is different, but I was so impressed by him, how professionalism he was, and how family oriented he was, and he was telling me, now you did this movie, it's important to choose a role that you want to do. You can wait 10 years for a right role. It's better waiting for a right role for 10 years than picking the wrong role one after another. So it was a very life game together, and meeting his kids and family. But many actors in Hollywood get into a wrong way. You hear some news taking things they're not supposed to. It is a tough industry. I understand. Their mind. Maybe there's a time they're wanting to have something like that. But I was always stay focused and remember. I was always remembering why am I in the United States to begin with. So anyway, but thank you for the question.
Yeah, hello, my name is Dimitri. I checked out your website, the foundation. I want to ask you, what are the plans for your foundation in Russia? What are you going to do in Russia? Yeah.
First of all, I would like to get to know about Russian culture, people, how the community is like, what is needed. Like I said before, we have 6 global agendas that all of our national chapter organizations are aligned with. But they don't have to do the agenda. They could pick 2 or 3 out of 6. But for Russia, on top of my head, what I'm thinking is to continue my talk and bring in other speakers to Russia, not only from the United States, from other countries, to share their career, life experience. So hopefully younger people in Russia will be inspired to pursue their goals and dreams, sharing those information. I'm hoping to talk to some of the university students at different schools, and that's the first things. I like to do more speakers program like this, but in different places, and continue my talks, and by other speakers. And the language, the history, the tradition, and it's very important to do that face to face. I know you can learn from the internet, social media, but it's pretty important to hear about themselves, hear from people from other countries face to face like this. It's a very different vibes. It's a very instant interaction, and you get to feel somebody's energy by being talking to face. So I like to do like a U.S.-Russia cultural event, maybe doing Russia-Japan, maybe Russia-Africa. I'm hoping to do like a cultural networking event in Moscow and other cities. The third things is, I don't know if there's a problem in Russia, but in other countries there are many gender-based violence against girls and young women by training them in martial arts and self-defense, giving them tools to protect themselves from a dangerous situation. So this is things that because of my martial arts background and our foundation, we've done many martial arts festivals, the international festival in the United States with a big audience. So this is a program, our foundation became a partner with one of the United Nations agency in New York. We became a global partner, and we're hoping to get this program in different countries for vulnerable girls and underprivileged girls and young women, especially in the rural areas, giving them tools and support them mentally. Martial arts will give you not only physical benefits, but also mental, spiritual benefits to you, becomes a way of your life, and it gives you, improves your self-esteem. It's very important when you're growing up. So this is a program that I'm thinking, but we haven't decided yet. Involved with us. We have some team already coming on board from Moscow, contacting us through website. If you're interested, please contact us so we can work together to improve our community here in Moscow and other cities, and bridging cultures to build a mutual understanding and respect. Thank you for the question.
Hello, my name is Mike. Thank you for your speech. It really inspires people, especially people who have a life dream. But what can I do if I don't have a dream? How can I find out my life goal? Thank you.
Yeah, I often get that questions too. What I tell is find what you like first. What is your hobby? What do you like about? Do you like traveling? Do you like watching anime? You like watching American movies? Find out what you are passionate about in daily life. Hobby becomes business sometimes. Hobby becomes your career and dreams. The hobby could be a beginning of your bigger dreams. The dream doesn't have to be big. It could be a dream 2 months from now, a small dream. The dream, once you find what you are passionate about, what you like, even, oh, I love bicycling. Or maybe you dream, what about becoming a champion of, becoming a cyclist champions one day? You get so motivated, I want to become the best at it. Maybe you work for an IT company. I want to start my own company. Find out what you really like in your life. But this is a time that you have to talk to yourself. You know, you can talk to as many people as possible, but they will give you can talk to 100 people, but they will give you 100 different answers. It will give you more confusions. Maybe give you more different options and dreams, like, then what am I supposed to do? Like, there are so many advices and options, but you have to listen every day. You have to have your own time to self-talk. It may sound really crazy, but it's important to have your own time. No music, no TV. Just sit down, relaxed, and think about your life today. What do I want in my life? What do I like? And then follow your instincts. Having a conversation with yourself is very important. In those situations, every day, one day, it may give you an answer. And you may meet people, maybe you want to become a Hollywood actor one day, you never know. So once you set your dreams, once you know what you want, dream is very broad. So now, what dreams become your goal. So this is a transition, it's very important. Dream is first. Number one is find what you want to do in your life. It could be your hobby. Second, that what you want becomes your dreams. Dream, once you know your dream clearly, that becomes your goal. It's a very different, it's very distinction between this. Once your dream become your goal, now your next step is make a plan. So now you have a goal, which could be like a destination, like a GPS. You know where you're going. You put your address. Now you know a goal where you want to go. So now think about plan of how to get there. So planning of how to get there, it takes a lot of planning every day. There are many hundreds of millions of different ways to get there. But you do research, you ask people. Nowadays you can find many information online and making plans. This process is very important. Whether you think it's a right plan or not, make a plan. So after you're making plan, now you take action. So taking action, just don't sit and wait and planning all day, every day for many, many years. Once you have a clear plan, a month or 2 months at most, maybe you can change the plan A, B, C, D. Take action, take initiative to that. Don't wait, take action. So plan becomes action. Now, the last thing is be consistent to succeed. Aim to succeed your plan. So this is the things that I do. And I tell people, first, find what you like, your passion. Second, dream. So these are the things very important. You go step by step. Where are you right now in your life? You know what you want. You're working for a company. You're a diplomat. You're an actor. Where are you? You have a goal, okay? You have a plan. You don't have a plan yet, clear plan. You know where you are, what you need to do. Make a plans. Once you know plans, what's next? Take action. Take action to it. No matter what it takes, just do it, take action. And once you start taking action, stay focused to succeed your dream. So these are the things that I do, anything I do in my life. I try to follow and stay clear where I am at that moment. So, but thank you for the question.
Thank you. My name is Elias. Thank you very much for your speech. And it's a related question. How was were you motivated by your parents? How they raised you? And when you got this idea, and how you got this idea to become an actor? And if you have kids, what words of encouragement you say to your kids? And last question, do you have new goals right now that not accomplished yet? Have you set any new goals right now?
Yeah, I just got a 2-minute and a sign set there, so I will try to make it quick. How I got my, it's still a mystery to today why I decided to pursue my American dream. My brother, I have a younger brother, 3 years younger, and he grew up exactly like me, but he's completely opposite. I don't know, maybe I hit my head with the stones one day and it just popped. None of my families ever dreamed of becoming a Hollywood actor or studying abroad, going to achieve their impossible dreams in other unknown land. But what I think it is how I grew up. One thing I remember, maybe this answer can be what would I tell to my kids. My mom was always, there's one thing, even if you get sick, go to school. So for how many years? Let's say elementary school, junior high school, and high school, total of 12 years. I never missed a day in school, never. Every single day, and I even got an award from a school that I never missed a school class. And school doctor, but go to school. This is very important. You will learn something. So it gave me a discipline going to school every day, no matter how I feel, no matter how sad I feel, no matter sickness I get. I always went to school. Maybe that gave me a discipline of continuing something for many, many years. And secondly, my mom was like, I remember why my mom was saying that, go after elementary school, coming back to home, she was always telling me, don't come back to that apartment. Go outside, find something to do. Go to park, go to mountain. I remember complaining to my mom, What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? There's nothing in this mountain. There's something to do. Find it. So every day until the sun setting, I was always going outside, finding something to do, making a tree house. I was always curious about things. And I was asking my mom one day, why do you think I decided to pursue my acting? And why do you think I'm doing this and challenging new things? And my mom was saying, you were always curious when you were kids, curious about many things in life. So curiosity is also a key. Become curious about life. Become curious about small things. And start thinking why that's happening. Curious about different people. Curious about space. Curious about trees. Curious about this flower. Curiosity is very important. It will give you something to think and do, and that's something that my mom always did. Curiosity, and my mom said I was always curious about. So that was the question. Like, so the answer to you, how would I raise? I will probably tell them, don't stay in the house. Don't play game all day. Go talk to your friends and meet friends. Go outside and explore the nature. I heard kids who grew up being surrounded by nature, become more sensitive in life. So maybe the nature gives you something in you that sharpen your senses that you have as a human beings. Being sensitive is very good, and be curious about curious about your surroundings. So, but I will give them freedom. If you want to do something, always encourage. Do not discourage what kids want to do. I will always encourage. Try it until you feel satisfied. If it doesn't work out, you're not gonna regret. At least it didn't work out. You just found a way that doesn't work. But now you can find a new way to get there. But if you don't try, you never know what works. So anyway, thank you for the question. To have national chapters in 50 countries. That's one thing. I really push into open national chapters in other countries. Doing what we do. So that's the goal for our foundation. I have a company we've been running for 14 years. We would like to make a really good action film with a good message. There are many American movies or many movies from around the world with the wrong message. They just do it because of the business, for different motivation. But I always wanted to, as an actor, I'm a messenger. As a producer, you're creator of the message. So it really influenced people. Everybody loves movie. But it's important to, as an actor, to deliver a right message as a messenger. Somebody may be watching you. Somebody may be listening to you. Your kids. The kids could be our next Hollywood star, you never know. So I try to make a really good action movie, but with a right message. And then one day, I would like to make a big action film through our production company. And we have original comic books that we produced, hopefully to make movies based on our comic books. Yeah, I have more, but I don't have much time, so yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Koyamada, thank you for this information, very useful. My question is, what would be your advice for the actors who, for example, want to start their careers in Los Angeles? For example, maybe it's better to apply to acting agencies who working with the stars, famous, for example, William Morris Endeavor, creative artist agency, or maybe it's better to apply to other agencies not so famous, because they could make your career, elevate you to Hollywood blockbusters. So what's your advice?
My advice based on my experience living in Los Angeles for 20 years, agent doesn't really matter. To tell you, agent gets paid 5% of what you earn. Many actors complain, oh, my agent doesn't do the job, my manager doesn't do the job. Well, think about this. They're getting paid 5%. They will only do 5% of a job. 95%, you have to do the job. That's why they're getting paid 5%. So don't depend on your agent. It's you who have to do the work. So what's important in Los Angeles? There's so many events done by Screen Actors Guild Union, Writer Guilds Union, Producer Guilds, university does. There's so many screening. It is about connection. Who you know, how much they like you. This is something I learned along the way. Anything is possible. Who you know, how much they like you. That will make your career. So, and 80% is your character, and 20% is your talent. Believe it or not, this is a business. So acting, of course, as an artist, your skills is important, but this is a business. So you have to polish your business skill. How can you get your role? It's a business. It's a business-minded. So it's a wrong way of thinking if you're thinking this is all about how good you become as an actor. No. It's important to learn acting, but it is your business. So if I were you starting a new career in Los Angeles, think about your business. Think as a business. So even anything to do in your business, what do you need to do starting your own career? You become employer, you become business owner, you become the brand. You are the employer. You hire agent, you hire publicist, you hire a lawyer, manager, you are the employer. Like anything else in business, what do you need to do? Network. You have to network to get clients. So it's the same things in acting. You go events, meet people as much as you can, have a coffee with them, buy them lunch, have them coffee, and become good friends and learn about, develop your friendship with many people in the industry, things will come to you. You never know this industry, tomorrow opportunity will come to you. This is a Hollywood. Tomorrow you can become the biggest star. You never know. Why this happened? Because the opportunities are everywhere. And there's a very close circle in Hollywood. So it's about connection. And then, working in the movie, millions of dollars on you. Studios are hiring, producers are hiring you. This is a business, but what's important is the relationship that you have with the producer, directors, and other actors, because you're gonna be with them the whole time. They wouldn't want to work even if you how much you're talented you are as an actor. It doesn't matter if you're really bad as a person. You don't have a good personality. They wouldn't work with you because it's the commitment that you have to spend for months and months and months every day working with somebody and millions of dollars on you. So they prefer working with somebody who's nice and easy to work with and professional, sensitive, and you care about so much about film, passionate. That's very important things to do. In acting, you teach somebody, acting is you can just pick somebody on the street and give them some acting lessons, they could do so. But what you can get, what you can't really get immediately is your professionalism, your character. Are you ready for the movie? So if I were you starting a career in Los Angeles, I will focus on those things. Thank you. Good? Think we're good?
Yes, okay. Sir, good evening. My name is Ajay. I'm from India. I want to ask one question to you. That have you ever been to India?
Not yet. Not yet. I've seen some Indian actors doing great movies in America, but I haven't seen, because there are millions of different amazing musical Indian movies out there. I heard it's the biggest movie industry.
Yeah.
So my time is up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this event. Very pleased to meet you all. Thank you.